Where we get it done is talking about this 24/7 list.
A little bit of that W side.
Because we got a problem here, DB.
Why? What happened?
I'm going to read you the list of names of guys that they put as like their honorable mention of like, hey, these are prominent guys we left off. Okay?
All right, so who are we going to take umbrage with? We going to
Well,
get
that's what I want you to guess.
Shafe, BC?
Well, I don't know which one of those guys we're going to take umbrage with.
I mean, because those guys are kind of all in the family.
I know. I like them, but like we need to have a little discussion here.
Little one-by-one hit.
We need one
So
by
the
one.
only guy left for the week is Brunts.
Yeah. I was going to try and get with BC, but I wanted you and I to talk about it first. So we can hit them on next week, you know?
Oh, that's kind.
So here's the list of guys that were left off. Mekhi Bear, Cam Lenhart, Ramir Johnson, Bly Hill, Riley Van Poppel, Janarin Bonner, Malachi Coleman. Just hit my mic there. Don't worry about that. Not a big deal. I'm a professional. Gabe Irvin, Malcolm Hartzog, Sua Lafotu, MJ Sherman, Ja'Cory Barney, Jeremiah Charles,
Wow.
Justin Evans, Luke Lindemeyer, and Nate Borkacher.
All right.
Who's the guy that I have a problem with?
Well, there's several.
There's two that I have huge problems with. There are several that I have problems with. There's two, and I think one in particular. I do think there is one that is at the top of the list for me.
So number one, I'm gonna get over the Borkacher thing.
Yeah, I know, because you have a little man crush. It's all right.
Even Lindemeyer.
Yeah, you love Lindemeyer.
I do.
Yeah,
I do.
But those I can understand. I can understand those two being left off.
Okay, I can too.
Yeah.
So that's kind of that's a personal thing.
Yeah. I think they can be good, important players, but I understand them not being in the 24.
Especially Bork.
Yeah.
Like and Luke's gonna play. Like
They're both gonna play.
Both are.
But I understand not being in the 24. I do.
Yeah, the easy one is Hartzog.
100%.
Easy one.
That's like, guys, we love you. That's a miss.
Yeah, it doesn't.
There is no world in which you can convince me he's not one of the 24 most important players on this team.
But it goes to what I've been saying. I've said this since the season ended.
What's that?
For whatever the reason, he's just a guy we don't appreciate. We think we have our mind made up that he's just not very good.
He is critical to what they're going to do in the secondary.
Try to tell people.
Critical.
I'm with you.
Whether he has to place
is
corner.
It my influence or
no?
Okay.
I thought this
because I don't want to.
I thought this before
because if we're wrong, we're gonna be wrong together.
We're gonna wear it.
Yeah.
But so I thought he started off the year a little rough last year. I thought he was pretty good by the end of the year.
Telling you.
And at a position where that's not his natural position, right?
I'm shocked
that he's not on there.
Yeah,
me too.
I don't even need to see the other 24.
I don't either.
I'm well aware because I followed
right, and we're not through it yet. But like, I don't care who
that's a miss.
There is no world in which you can convince me Malcolm Hartzog isn't one of the 24 most important or best players on this team.
That's
a miss.
I'm just telling you, if something
happens to a Hartzog, let's knock on wood. We're knocking on wood on that one. That's a problem because he's been playing out of position and was still pretty good. So whether he has to play corner again because either Sierra Wright's not it
just
or
confirms
Bly Hill's not it or whatever.
It just confirms what I think. He's like the forgotten man.
He's pretty good. And he's really important to what they do.
You have to tell me. And he's a great teammate.
I was saying, you know who you never hear any problems about?
Well, he barely talks. You're not going to hear anything from him.
No,
unless
but not
he's talking
from
to
him,
his guys.
But like, you never hear any problems about Malcolm Hartzog.
Yeah.
If he actually gets to play safety this year,
he was actually the first guy that I thought of in Coop's departure.
Really?
Even before Caleb.
Yeah.
Because Caleb's was personal.
Yeah.
It may not have an immediate impact on playing time either way because he's not playing yet. But Hartzog was the first guy that I thought of.
Why is that?
Because he understands his skill sets.
Yeah.
Hartzog's a guy you have to be around.
Yeah. Like understand what he can do well.
Yep.
Well, hopefully Butler understands.
Well, he's a bright guy. I'm sure he'll get it. I'm shocked.
I'm shocked that he's not on the list.
Huh.
You know who my number 2 was?
Yes.
Who?
Yes.
Who's my number 2?
If I get it right, can I get another $20 lunch?
We'll add 10 to the original.
Ooh, 30?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's Van Poppel.
No.
Damn it.
No.
Should have been.
Van Poppel is like.
Should have been.
Justin Evans was my 2.
Similar
I think that's
thought process.
I think that's a miss.
Next man up.
Yeah.
Both. I told you it wouldn't surprise me if Van Poppel. This is maybe a little
bit of a stretch,
premature.
A little bit of a little Pilates, little yoga, a little stretch there.
A little premature stipulation here. But remember, a couple months ago, I said, would not surprise me if he was a starter by the end of the season.
So if that means he's stealing snaps from either Nash or Ty.
Yeah.
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 Okay, that's fair.
He's going to be pretty.
He's going to be really, really good. I like Van Poppel a lot. The reason I have Justin Evans ahead of him is because his
what could I got for another extra $10?
We'll never know now. That's not true. I make bad bets all the time.
Well, that one was going to be hard though.
Yeah,
I'm picking one out of 15.
Yeah.
That's not great odds.
The reason Justin Evans is ahead of Van Poppel for me is because direct playing time. Like there's not obvious people standing in front of him.
And you know what's interesting is
you can make the argument there's more depth behind Evans.
He's all conference. He's postseason honors caliber by the time he's done.
Yeah. I think he's really good. Everybody that I talk to who knows anything about offensive line tells me that Justin Evans is really good. And so I'm taking their word for it as well. And the fact that he played last year as a really young guy and that there wasn't really drop off.
And remember, he's a convert too.
Yeah. So
came in as kind of a defensive guy.
Yeah. So we don't pay a ton of attention to the positions that Coach Rule brings people in as.
Not anymore.
Because it's kind of just like, they'll get in where they fit in.
And it's funny too, because
can you imagine the hand wringing of Jaden Doss being a defensive back now under previous staffs? We'd be losing our minds.
I know one thing though. Pressure's on though. Don't kid yourself.
Oh, 100%. You got to win.
But I mean, you need another couple of corners.
Yeah.
Pressure's on.
100%. That's part of the reason Hartzog's really important.
I can't believe you didn't go with Van Poppel.
I think Van Poppel's fourth for me.
Okay.
Can you get the third?
I'm going to have to go on recall here. Yeah, maybe.
You want to do the list again?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
It's a guy I have an affinity for.
Listen, so is the $10 edition back on?
5.
Dang.
Well, you got a strike against you.
Ja'Cory Barney.
No, come on, man.
Damn it. Shame. 0 for 2.
It's a guy I was on early last year, and I've been riding with him ever since. Cam Lenhart. I'm a big Cam Lenhart guy.
Well, so he was almost too obvious because a lot of people like Cam and he played early.
Yeah. So him being left off is what are we doing here?
Yeah, but
I love Cam Lenhart.
You gawk over Barney too, though.
I do, yeah. But I've been on Lenhart longer in terms of my affinity.
Yeah.
But it's because
he's got a year head start. Yeah, you got a year head start.
Yeah, he got a year head start. But Barney's one I can understand.
I'm gonna have to champion this campaign for the Hartzog disrespect.
Yeah, I don't really. I'm having a hard time with that one.
I feel like I have to talk people into him.
Is it his size?
I think people think he lacks foot speed. Yeah,
I think you look at him. And you're like, that guy doesn't look like a super long, lengthy, athletic.
Yeah, the long, lengthy thing, no. You see him without his pads, he's incredible.
Yeah. But he looks more like what we would think of a running back than a defensive.
Probably, yeah,
right?
probably. Yeah,
so I think
that's fair.
Part of it is he doesn't match our eye test for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But he's a good football player.
Yeah.
And obviously versatile.
I'm just handing out comps, and he's not the same player, obviously.
Bob Sanders.
Wow, really? That's what we're on? Yes, Bob Sanders.
Yeah.
5'8", really compact. Now, Sanders was
incredible. Like, he's the high level of the body type we're talking about.
I remember Coach Parker using some cut-ups with Caleb for
Bob
Sanders.
Sanders.
We actually stayed extra. We were supposed to, they put us on the clock, and I was like, can we watch some more of those highlights? He was incredible.
Yeah. We forget about it because he got injured so much late in his career in Indy.
Oh,
but he was incredible.
I mean,
I feel like I should get $10 for getting Bob Sanders out of a hat.
He literally was the human eraser.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Do you remember
how bad Indy's defense was when he was out?
Yeah, when you play that too like they did.
Yeah.
He's integral.
He was the linchpin.
Yeah, he's integral.
Yeah.
But he's one of those guys like we used a lot of comps for. You want to know the sneaky one I use for that I have Caleb study a lot, especially in this defense potentially?
Who's that?
I'm gonna go way back. And I said this because was it TK or was it Adam? Somebody, I'm gonna go back and listen or look. Somebody asked me the question, what former, because you get this all the time in the offseason, what old player would I bring back for this particular defense?
Okay.
And it wasn't your typical answer for me. I have to go back to, I think he sent it to me in a DM. Who sent it?
I feel like I might go with a corner just because that's an area of need. I feel like.
Yeah.
Am I crazy there?
If you get this guy, the guy that I'm thinking, you can keep the 20.
I'm assuming it's a safety based on our conversation.
I may regret this.
Mike Brown.
No.
Okay.
Thank the Lord. I gotta have something to eat.
I mean, you haven't collected on that in like 6 months.
I'm saving it. I'm almost bottom of the barrel. I had to repurpose a November.
We'll be making
Popeye's turkey.
We'll be making another bet on Creighton basketball before you actually cash in on the last bet.
I went with God. Who sent it to me? I went with Eric Haig.
Oh, I like Eric Haig.
And that's the role in this defense. Imagine him playing because, and I can't remember. Maybe it was TK. He went with Gomes.
Yeah, he was the peso back.
And it kind of surprised me because I thought, typically we go with like a dominant D line but he thought through the exercise and he's like, okay, what could really help this team? And he went with Gomes and I go, Gomes is a good one. I'm not down on that, but I would go with.
I liked Eric Haig a lot. The only reason I wouldn't go Haig is I assume wouldn't he be taking Gifford's spot?
Well, he could take any of the three. They're kind of interchangeable, although there is a true rover.
And that's kind of how I view
Haig. That's Giff.
Yeah, and I view Haig mostly in that role.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily want to replace Giff. And so that would be maybe my only pushback on Haig. I love Haig as a player, though.
Yeah, he was.
I'd probably go, honestly, like I said, I'd probably go with a corner because of the area of need.
And it's a shame I can't remember who it had to be. There's only 3 guys that get that football-y. So it's either X's and O's, TK, or wow. I'm all over the place because what he did say was
Kenny.
He liked that whole 2008, 2009 secondary with Coach White.
Yeah. Yeah.
It would have been.
Yeah. Because you're talking Prince.
I mean, those are the kinds of guys that you need running the alley.
You're talking Haig.
Yeah.
You're talking who was who? I
gotta find this.
Who was the
DM
safety that got beat on the Virginia Tech game?
Who am I missing?
Matt O'Hanlon.
Yeah. I like him as a person.
That's fine. I didn't want to be like the white safety.
LVV's finest. No, I probably would have said Philip Bland.
So I went with the guy that got beat at Virginia Tech. You knew who I was talking about. He also had 3 interceptions in a game later that year. So I'll give you the good and the bad, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe the highlight of Marcus.
It was TK, and it wasn't a DM. He sent it on text.
Maybe the highlight of Marcus Vick's career right there.
I thought it was not letting Drea keep the house. What?
Nothing.
Is that too pop culture?
A little bit. That's okay.
Oh.
I'm trying to think if there's anybody else I would take on this particular team in terms of.
And you know what? I like the way he phrased the question.
How did he say it? How did he say it?
He said, I think if I could take or add any prior non-legendary.
Okay. So we're not taking like Sue.
Yeah, non-legendary defensive player to this defense. It would be
we're doing defense only. Does Levante count as legendary?
He's in the best ever discussion.
Okay, I'm just,
Wow.
He didn't win any of the major awards or anything like that.
It's
so
okay. It's hard to win.
I know.
Neither did Ed Stewart.
Legendary is a subjective measure, so I was just checking. DB.
Yeah, that's
Don't gotta be all.
wow.
So does Prince count? Because he was a first-round draft pick. I can't pick Prince.
We don't. Prince was maybe a better pro than we liked him in college.
Maybe.
I don't know. Am I misremembering? Did we have an affinity for Prince?
I thought so by the time he was like a junior.
I don't. I'm not sure. I'm not denying. I don't know. I don't hear people say, "Ooh," like I think he gets forgotten about.
Who was the other corner? Went to the Patriots.
No, it was the Browns or the Bears.
Dennard.
Oh, he's a Bengal.
He played for the Patriots at one point too, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
After the Bengals.
After the Bengals. Okay.
Yeah.
So I
Fonzie?
think a lot of people
Alfonso.
I think a lot of people liked Dennard more than Amukamara. But Dennard would be a good one on this team.
Yeah, and he fits the non-legendary.
Yeah, for sure. Because he ended up like 5th or 6th round draft.
And I didn't bat an eye at Haig because that's ideally who I want.
Oh, I love Haig. I just
especially
don't know.
if he stays at the fields. If he stays field.
I just don't know if I want to take Gifford off the field.
I know.
That'd be my only issue.
But those three are pretty interchangeable.
Yeah, that's fair. So you're taking. You mean you don't want to take Hartzog off the field, probably? So you're taking Singleton off the field?
It's not really so much who's coming off the field. It's as much as what this team needs.
So they need another safety.
Well, you're just thin.
Yeah. Thin on experience for sure.
Yeah. And a good one can be great in this defense.
Oh, 100%. I think Haig would be incredible in this defense.
You get to do so many things.
I mean, like this. Don't take this as Eric Haig hate. Like I love Eric Haig.
Oh. I remember my man. Who did he house that 95-yard punt return against?
That's exactly what I was thinking about.
Who was that against?
Because he's not that fast.
No, I know.
So like the reason I don't even know why he was back there.
That's no big deal.
Because he didn't return a lot of punts.
Who did he do that against?
It wasn't Texas, was it? I thought that gave him life against Texas one year.
I don't think it was Texas.
I'm gonna look it up.
It was. Gosh, it was in Lincoln, right?
It was Texas.
Was it?
Yeah.
Was it in Lincoln?
2010 against Texas in Lincoln.
I didn't know that they.
That gave them hope.
Didn't he kind of bobble it?
Yes.
Scooped it up off the ground or something?
Yes.
I remember
that's one of the more bizarre ones just because you're like, A, I don't know why he's back there. And then B, he's not a burner.
How about when Cleveland drafted him? I think he was like a 6th
or
round.
6th.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was kind of mad. I was kind of bummed that he didn't stick because I was like, man, I think he's really good at football. I just didn't know if he could make it.
Yeah, that was like that weird stretch of really, really good safety play that without a lot of elite level So that had who am I thinking?
I mean, you throw Gomez in that same category.
No, son of a gun.
What era?
Deontay Evans.
Oh yeah. Deontay Evans.
Yeah.
You had
I remember they were playing Northwestern, and it was in a 2x2.
He wasn't quite as good, but like Larry Asante was in there too.
Oh yeah, the assassin.
Man, he brought the thunder.
Fearless.
Yeah.
So
he smacked people.
So I remember is it 2x2 set, and there was a little inside slot receiver for Northwestern. Can't remember. He wore 11 maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And they may have been in bracket, and he lined up on the hash and kind of gave him a two-way go. Just got beat on the inside, and whoever was playing quarterback just threw him like a little skinny. He banged his head on the goalpost. And I was like, that's just simple alignment.
Yeah.
Right? Can't give – you turn him loose inside, there's no one home.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why that sticks out. I don't know if that was the game where they ran it 18 times in a row to close it out.
I don't know.
No, I don't think so.
But there was a play.
I don't think so, but I might be wrong.
But it was just simple alignment.
Yeah.
And who was that little dude? Did he wear 11? I'm really just
for Northwestern.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get that. I'm not gonna get that one for you.
Slot receiver.
Yeah.
Yep. He was number 2 on the right side. Just
I can get you Matt O'Hanlon. I can't get you.
Didn't get hands on him. Got inside and it's like dunk right on the goalpost. I was like, wow, we can't give that up. That one's gonna hurt. I like Keontae Evans a lot.
Is there anybody that you would consider a non-legend from your era on the defense that you would put on this team? What about like a Baron Miles? Is he a legend?
Yes.
Okay.
He's in the GOAT discussion.
Okay.
At the position.
It gets a little tricky when you go back to that era because a lot of people are
good
in legendary status, right?
Yeah, and when you play on the same team as Tyrone Williams.
Yeah. I assume Tyrone wouldn't count. So
even John, he gave me Keo Craver. Craver probably falls more in the underappreciated because he really was good, but he would be an amazing nickel guy in this defense.
What about like a DeJuan Gross?
He's elite though.
Okay, but we were most
Craver could be. I'm splitting hairs.
Yeah,
Craver doesn't come up a lot in discussions. If John's going to sell me on that, I would agree.
Yeah,
because he was fantastic, arguably one of the best athletes to ever be on that campus.
You want the burner, Fabian Washington?
Again, probably more popular for being drafted early than I think we remember him as a player.
Yeah, I think so.
But wow, I'm just thinking about playing Keo in the nickel. He could help fit in the run game, especially in like the RPO game. He'd be really good. Is
there anybody that you would take in the linebacker spots? Because I feel like that's a spot we don't love.
Potentially,
with this team,
like because they're very athletic, like Bullock and Wright.
Yeah,
and Bear, like those guys got a chance.
Well, then you brought in Thompson from UCLA.
Yeah, not as high. Syracuse, not as kinda
big body,
not as high,
big body
as some.
Yeah.
An angle guy that could play downhill. Because you got to be able to, D-gap guy. I'm on here. I don't know. Be interesting to see Jamel play inside in this defense because he's built a lot like Wright.
Yeah.
Is
Terrell Farley too much legendary?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know what he would do in this defense.
I don't know, but I'd let him do it.
He'd be too small to be a jack.
Yeah.
Situationally, he definitely could rush the passer.